Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Expats Retiring Around the World. In this episode, I'm just going to go over my trip to Mexico City. Now, I took this mostly as a tourist, had a few days to pop out of San Diego, had visited Mexico City in the past, loved it. It's like Latin American New York City. So took off from TJ, which I like to do. TJ, flying from Tijuana, crossing the bridge is always a lot better experience. It's a way cheaper flight. It's pretty easy. There's a bridge called the CBX that is down on the border, and literally you cross the bridge into the airport. So it's pretty easy. This is actually driving around in Mexico City. This is from I stayed in an Airbnb in a very cool old building near the central downtown old central area. This is up on a rooftop restaurant where I had dinner, and then I spent a lot of time just walking around the area and checking it all out. I'm just, to me it's fascinating, these buildings that have been here since 1900 or before, and there's still shops and they're still in use. There's an old theater there, Teatro de la Ciudad, the city theater, I guess. Then I walked around and over towards the big major plaza, the cathedral. Basically, as far as the theme goes of Americans living in retiring, or I guess any expat retiring overseas, this is Mexico City is a great place. It's definitely got everything you need. Just like any city, are there safe parts and unsafe parts? Sure, but you basically just kind of keep your head on a swivel and don't make yourself a target. Don't broadcast wealth and riches and I'm a tourist, and I don't know. There's always that uncomfortable feeling. I get that a lot when I tell people about traveling around and retiring in other countries and how I'm fascinated with the idea. After anywhere you go, after a few months, it's like home. You're pretty comfortable. So anyway, this is the beautiful cathedral. I don't know, built in the 1600s by the Spaniards after they came in and took over Mexico City, which was the Aztec capital. It's really ornate and amazingly beautiful, and I'm pretty sure that's gold-plated stuff right there, but maybe not. Maybe it's just paint. But anyway, old city. This is the old Aztec ruins. This is like literally right outside the cathedral there. Like to the left of here is the huge cathedral. And this is stuff built by the Aztecs. That's the city. That's the Mexico City when Cortez found it, when he got here. That's what the main, complex looked like, and there's the ruins of it. Anyway, pretty fascinating stuff with ancient history here and stuff. That's always fascinating to me. Here on this street here, they're digging out the sewer, and then they find an old, stone wall that's built underneath there. You can't really see it down there, but you can see some of the building, a little bit down, literally underneath the street. I mean, literally the pyramids and the ruins are underneath the city here, so it's pretty fascinating. And you never run out of stuff like that to see in Mexico City. There's just so much. The place is huge. It's, depending on who you ask, I think maybe up to 50 million people, in the suburban area, I guess, or the whole metroplex, if you want to call it that. Cool little pizza joint I ate at, just because, whatever. It's obviously an old building. It looks like it's under construction, and they put a skate bowl in there, and people were skating, and that's on the inside. That's like one of these buildings right here. You just walk through a door, and then on the inside is a big patio. There's me with my stylish beard, just kind of filming the street scenes. Really just, I don't know, it's really beautiful. As far as retiring here, there's plenty of doctors, plenty of everything you'll need, plenty of stores. That's rent-wise, that I didn't check, because when I actually visited here, I was kind of going there as a tourist. I didn't really have the idea of retiring there, but I have spoken to a few Americans that live down in Mexico City, and of course your street taco stands. Yeah, delicious, obviously. But and they live fine. They live comfortably. They love it. And Mexico City, flights to America from Mexico City you can find discounted flights for like $85 or less. Not to America, I should say, to TJ, and then you come across the bridge at TJ. So nighttime, this is called the Zócalo, which is the big, huge, major plaza there in front of the cathedral. Those are all the government buildings lit up at night. Pretty poor camera, sorry. But let's see. This is another touristy trip. I went to Teotihuacan, which is a huge city that more or less was gone by the time the Aztecs were there. And maybe they became the Aztecs. I don't know. I think it's still unclear from what I was told, from what I remember. Huge pyramids, obviously. This was around the year 1000 or 1100. This civilization was here, and that whole city is unearthed there. It's like, I don't know, a mile or longer from. There's the visitor center there, straight ahead. And off to my right is where you walk a whole mile, just like this right here. See this main road here, and then all of this was the city, all of that there, and then there were all these residences, and just, man, can't even believe it. That's the Pyramid of the Sun, I think. That's the big old, massive pyramid. Good Lord. But yeah, it was a great trip. It was being a tourist. This day we actually I went down and stayed in the Airbnb, which was fun. And then they have these little Airbnb I can't remember what they call experiences, I think. And then you go basically have somebody. There's just basically you can go on tequila or taco tasting tours, or I went on a bike tour, which was very cool. Riding around Mexico City at night after all the traffic went home. The streets are open and wide and massive. This tour was with a gentleman who grew up about a half a mile. His property borders that ruins, and it's generational property. His grandfather grew up on the property, and it's on the border of these ruins. So his grandfather has been around that area for a long, long time, right? So anyway, he took us to a little local restaurant there, and we had lunch, and then he basically took us back to his area, his lot, I guess, and where he has cacao and basically grinds it down and shows us how it's all done, which is pretty fascinating. I didn't exactly know how it was made, but he actually took some of those beans and ground them up like that, and then ended up with a paste like that right there. And it's like the oils were coming out of it, and then we went into an old sacred cave and explored around, and this cave's been in use for 1,000 years. And then this is drinking pulque, which was kind of like, I don't know, I think it had alcohol in it, but I couldn't really taste it. And let's see, this was, this is when I went to the museum, the Anthropology Museum, which is amazing. This is pretty cool right here. See, this is how the streets are laid out. Lots of lanes, and then in the middle medians for biking and walking and stuff. So, and lots of park trees, things like that. Really beautiful. This museum was very, very cool. Explained a lot of the history of, the different cultures that, have occupied Mexico, from Toltecs and Olmecs and Aztecs and whatnot. So pretty amazing. They're making dolls. That was a laughing doll, right? That last figure there, is laughing. So even back then, they would make characters that were I don't know, just an interesting part of the society or something, like how it wasn't all about war and god tributes and things. Sometimes it was, representing the other side. This was basically a replica of what they found. I think some Mayan structures, and how they were painted on the inside, which is pretty cool. They painted a big, you know what the story there was, that for a long time they thought Mayans were very peaceful, But then they started finding all these, paintings and I don't know, hieroglyphs or whatever depicting war, and they interpreted them differently. Anyway, so that's how they found out that the Mayans started warring with each other, and don't know exactly how they disappeared either, but they were gone by the time Cortez got here. He got there around 1514, something like that. Again, just incredible ceramics and whatnot. There's the sundial. And there's, I guess, me coming back. Yeah. So anyway, that was a good trip. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Thanks for watching.